Hey now, Tim K here, coming back with my third video. Just wanted to start the video off by giving my buddy Rob a shout out. Rob from Cash Cards. Out of the blue, he sent me a text one morning, and I opened it up, and this was sitting there. Rob, out of nowhere, created me an amazing logo for my channel. Knocked it out of the park, brother. Thank you so much. It's got everything I couldn't do. I tried to create one of these myself, and I could not figure it out. And poof, out of the blue, Rob, integrated everything I would want. My channel's name, iconic Steal Your Face Grateful Dead logo, inlaid with the Reds logo, with some cards in the background. It's got the flames for a fire ass hot logo. So Rob, again, thank you so much, man. You knocked it out of the park on that one. Ironically, I tried to make myself a logo and was failing horribly. So I just ended up taking out an old T-shirt that I had and taking a picture of it that had the Steal Your Face logo, kind of this right here. It had the Steal Your Face with the Reds logo inside of it, and I think Rob saw it and said, "Hey, I can help this boy out." So again, thank you so much, man. Very cool of you to do. This episode I wanted to touch on a couple of my epic, one's an epic buy, one's an epic trade that I had in my childhood collecting days. To get back to it, I'll set the framework a little bit. In 8th grade, during middle school at Tower Heights Middle School in good old warm and cheerful Centerville, Ohio. Our study hall teacher was pretty cool. There was a lot of card collectors in there, so she allowed us to bring stuff in and trade. I know we were supposed to be doing homework or whatever, but we traded instead. So I mentioned in my last video, that's where I got my what I call my epic blue binder, which houses all of my non-sports cards right now. But in that study hall, and I can date it to 1990 because of the hollow stickers here that came in 1990 Upper Deck packs. Anyway, that's a little setting up the backstory. A kid named Eric walked into study hall one day in this binder he had just traded for another kid that he knew. This kid's name was David, and the only reason I know that is because his name was etched into that binder. So at one time it was his. And sorry, I'm already confusing this a little bit, but Eric traded this kid David. Eric shows me the binder. I had a card that I wasn't going to trade just for anything because it was a super hot card at the time. And Eric said, "Hey, I'll trade you this binder full of vintage cards for that one card." And that one card in question is this, the 1987 classic baseball green Bo Jackson. It was considered his first football baseball card. That's Bo in his Auburn football jersey with his Auburn hat, in his bat. This predates, the now iconic 1990 score Bo football baseball card, that we all know that just says Bo on the back. So anyway, he just had to have that card. And I said, well, shoot, just why don't you trade me that whole binder full of vintage cards you just got? And he didn't blink an eye. He said, deal. I was kidding. I didn't think he was going to do it. But boy, I guess he really needed that Bo Jackson card because this binder was full of vintage baseball cards. Probably 400 to 500 cards, dating all the way back to 1952. There's 1952 tops, probably about 50 or 60. Nothing special with any of these cards. Well, they're all special cards, but no Hall of Famers, no Mickey Mantles, no Willie Mazes. There's some All Stars and All Star players and very good players, throughout this binder, but no, uh, groundbreaking cards or whatever. The 52 tops were all low numbers, all redbacks. Again, nothing special about them, but very cool. There's probably about, again, 40 to 60 53 tops, which were very cool. Um, a handful, maybe about 20 Bowman color cards. And that was my introduction to the Bowman 53 Bowman color set. I'd never seen them before. So, I took a look at those cards and I was just like, wow, what are these? These are incredible. So that was my introduction to that set. There's a handful of 55 Bowman, the TV set cards that were in there. I was familiar with that set. A whole slew of 1959 tops. Shoot, probably about 200 of those tops cards in there. And then just some random other vintage cards mixed in. That was kind of the bulk of the different years. I don't know why there was such a gap. I'm assuming this David guy, where this binder originated, that they had to have been his grandfather's cards, because my mom was born in 1951 and I was a little older than these guys that were in my study hall. And so yeah, these cards being from the 50s, they had to be his grandfather's cards. They weren't his dad's cards or whatever. That's just a guess of mine. But anyway, that was just, to this day, one of the most epic trades I've ever made. I was into vintage cards. At this point, I just didn't have a big bulk amount of them. I maybe had 20 to 30 vintage cards in my collection at this point. This really helped kickstart my vintage cards and just more interest in the vintage card collecting realm. So that was a trade, for, again, one. I mean, it's a really cool card, this Bo Jackson, but ironically, I ended up buying this card when I got back into collecting for on eBay for like $10. So that's a deal. Hey, I was happy with the deal. He was happy with the deal. He had to have that Bo Jackson Auburn football baseball card. I told him, hey man, it's in the classic set. You can just go buy it. Oh no, I just need it. You have it. Let's trade. Okay, done deal. So that was my trade. An epic buy made from that same study hall. There was a kid named Bill. Bill was a really, really good pitcher in our little league. Shoot, Bill was pitching mid to upper 80s when we were in eighth grade. Most people were scared to death to hit off of him because he was pretty wild. I wasn't. I was a leadoff hitter. I could always get around on Bill. Yeah, he hit me a couple times, but hey, I got on base. A couple balls later, I'm on third base. I was kind of known as the Ricky Henderson of our league, being the leadoff hitter. I got on, and within 5 pitches later, I'm on third, ready to score. So Bill never scared me. I could always get around on him. I have to thank him for one of my very few home run out of the park, over the fence home runs I ever hit. I was known as a contact place hitter. I just got on base. I scored. I wasn't a power hitter, man. I'd get a double, leg out a triple here and there. I never hit home runs, but I hit home runs off of Bill because he was bringing the ball so fast and I could get around on him. So Bill comes in and says, hey, my older brother Walt is looking to sell a bunch of his football sets. You interested? And his older brother, he was older than us. He was already in high school, had his license, had a car, stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, man, if he's got that 76 Tops football set in there, I'm game. I'm a player on that. Very next day, he brings in this box that had been sitting in old Walt's closet probably since 1976. Very cool box. It's got the hockey guy there. You got some basketball dude. You got your football and then your baseball. And down here, you wrote in all your information, stuff like that. So we made a deal. He said Walt only wanted $25 for that. I said, okay, well, I'll have that $25 here to you in study hall. No problem tomorrow. So yeah, I was like, you sure he only wants 25? I was willing to give more. And he's like, no, he said, 25's cool, man. So anyway, one of the unique things that I found unique that I found in this old set, I believe it's hand collated, but this kind of made me second guess it. It's almost like those tags that come in jeans inspected by inspector number 2 or whatever. You can see that here. This set was blah blah blah. Um, I don't think they made factory sets. Of course, there's always been hand collated sets. This card's a mystery to me. It's just business card size. I thought it was worth keeping all these years. I don't know anything about it. If anyone does, please leave it down in the comments. It would solve a big mystery to me. I've never seen one. So another thing that I like to do with complete sets. Yeah, I'm still stuck in the 80s. I'm still a complete set collector. That's how it came growing up. I like to get the wax pack if I can. Just I think it adds to the set. I know a lot of guys do that. So ironically, I bought this wax pack for $10. Almost a third of the price that I paid for the whole set back in 1990. But I thought it was worth it. Just cool to have. Um, you know, I targeted the 76 set when I knew all these sets were available because 76 that's the year I was born. We all know it's a just a great set loaded with Hall of Famers and Hall of Fame rookies. So a little bit of info on the set. It's a 528 card set. There's 60 individual Hall of Fame cards. That's not counting all the highlight cards and record breaker cards, stuff like that. I believe it's 72 Hall of Fame cards if you count those for the whole set. 4 pretty big Hall of Fame rookie cards, which we'll touch on in a second here. I now found this an interesting stat. 115 total rookie cards in the set. Got that off of trading card database, which I know we all love. I thought that was, that number surprised me. I felt that was a really high number of rookie cards for that just 1 year. Now we all know the big 4 rookies, Hall of Fame rookies, which I'm about to show which those are. So I'll just go ahead and get into those. So, the first one I got graded was this Walter Payton, of course. I originally sent it away to PSA, and they sent it back minimum size, cannot grade. I said, okay, well, it was the same exact size as the rest of them. We all know the woes and sagas about this minimum size stuff. Little bummed that, I wasn't bummed whatsoever that, SGC put a number grade on it and just didn't authenticate it. I guess I was, bummed that it didn't get a 7. I was hoping for the 7. It's a sharp card. It's obviously the centering. It is, it could be OC, very close to OC. So I was just happy to get a number grade on it. So, the second one was this. So this was in the Walter Payton submission. This actually did get a grade. And that gave me a good, primer of where the set was. I thought most of the cards would grade about, excellent mint to near mint. And, it proved my point. Again, this is a sharp card. It's just the centering that brought it down. So after I did those 2 initial cards, the big cards of the set, I decided to take a different route on getting the cards graded. I was like, shoot, started looking into it and like, man, I can pick most of these up graded, the other rookies I need, some of the other Hall of Famers, between $15 and $30 a card, through eBay. So that's what I started doing. So the rest of the set, I still have raw other than the Payton and the Jack Lambert. So, all the other Hall of Famers that I've bought off of eBay and all the other rookie cards like this, Hall of Fame rookie card or rookie card, a Hall of Famer, Randy White, I got that in an 8. I think I paid $30 for it. So, the light bulb went off in my head like, wait a minute. If I can just get these off of eBay for cheaper than it would cost me to mail them, grading costs, mail back, it was a no-brainer to me. For example, again, the other Hall of Fame rookie card that's in this set, Robert Brazil in a 7. Don't really care about the grade, but it's 7. I think I bought this for $15. Um, Another cool pickup. I'll only have a couple autograph cards out of this set, but this is a early Joe Theismann. Sorry, this glare is killing you guys. Theismann autograph. So yeah, we all know he played in the Canadian Football League for I think 2-3 years, something like that, before he came out of the NFL. So it's not a rookie card, but it's an early example of one of his cards signed. It's not a early autograph. You can tell by the Sharpie. If it was an early autograph, it'd be ballpoint. But I don't know. For $20, I thought this was a great addition to the set. And I still have the other example that's raw in there. Another autograph card that I came across in my searches on eBay. This guy was named Steve Owen. Sorry, guys. I got to do something about this glare. It's killing you. Still haven't figured out the phone thing. I need to get a light source and light ring and all that and start doing my videos that way. Anyway, Steve Owen, he was pretty good running back for the Detroit Lions back in the day. Autograph card, $10. Can't beat it. So yeah, I just thought I'd share, some of my epic childhood one trade, one purchase. Yeah, I to this day I don't think I've had any better deals than that in my life. We're always looking for that great deal, and hey, everyone says if both sides of the party are comfortable, it's a good deal. And yeah, I was just lucky to have that study hall and run into these two great items in that study hall. So I really appreciate if you've made it this far with me. I would love to hear any comments, any feedback. That'd be great, especially about that little inspector's card. If anyone knows anything about that, Mangini, I know you're not watching my stuff, but this might make it your way somehow because of this little inspector number 2 card. I'd love to hear about that. If you'd like to subscribe or like the video, cool, whatever. Not too important to me. I'd much rather just interact with you guys through comments. If you leave a comment, that means way more to me. That just gets our relationship going a little better. We get to know each other, better that way. And, just different stuff we collect. And yeah, I'd love subs and likes and stuff like that, but the comments are more important, because that's how we really connect and interact with the community out here. So it'd be great to hear from you guys. And, yeah, so I will see you down the road with another episode. All right, thanks a lot. Take care.